When you put an iPhone right in my face, I get brain freeze. If I look in here, it's just not working for me. Gold Standard Properties, the idea was born from looking at holidays. It would be lovely to go on holidays, wouldn't it? Hotel rooms, when you arrive, you open the door and it's pizzazz, it's fantastic, it's something you want to move into. So we wanted to create really interesting spaces for residents to feel at home immediately and not move in and have a raft of challenges and issues that they had to call in and deal with. That effort's been made with the lighting, with the fuse boards, with the boilers. They're all givens, but what can we do extra? What's the wow? What's the sort of curb appeal? What can we do about that front drive or the communal area? Where would the sockets go? Working from home spaces, where we can create somewhere where a bike could be stored safely. We ask every resident for a review when they serve notice and sadly move on. And what we found is they will guide us into improving that property based on them living in the space. We're in the space for an hour or two, but we don't live there. And actually listening to residents gives us a guide to go straight to the owner and say, look, the current resident has been there for 2, 3, 4 years. This is their suggestion. Would you like to start there? Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to do a maintenance video and send that through to you, and then we can start talking about opportunities to improve that property without busting any budgets. We introduce the owner back into their space quite often that they haven't physically seen for a long time, and we let them help us guide us through the process, what they would like to change first. Of course, we ask them what their objective is. Are you looking for a high level rental? Are we looking for sharers? What type of resident are you looking for? And therefore we can help with them create the space that said resident will be interested in. We want the owner to be really interested and fall back in love with their space and remind them why they bought it in the first place. So it's just a different way of approaching the problem. And what we've done is spent our time on the pre-marketing to make sure the properties are looking fantastic, rather than marketing and then trying to tailor-make the property around the needs of an interested party. It means that we can find the perfect property for the perfect resident. So from the owner's perspective, they've got someone who is likely to enjoy the space more and live in the property longer. So one thing we know is that when we've previously spoken to residents about what's the problem with rentals, like what aren't you liking? It's the fact that they don't feel part of the space they're living in. They can't influence that space. Owners are becoming much more flexible around the wants and needs of the residents who are looking. What that means is the owner gets a resident that loves the space, looks after it really well, and depending on the work that's been carried out, expenditure reduces, rental income tends to increase because people are more willing to invest in space that they love. It makes total sense. One thing to remember is Gold Standard is an ongoing process. It's not something that you do and it's fixed forever. Properties do need to be looked after. We review properties regularly. We listen to the residents. We tailor-make changes around their guidance. And it's just great to bring everyone together. And that's what we want to continue doing that and get more and more immersed in people's property so that they feel part of the process on all sides of the fence, whether you're a resident, contractor, working at Paramount, and of course the owners.